Okay, sir. Now, of course, the conversations continue to happen around legacy and around his time in office, specifically his time as president, and specifically around the young people, the youth. The conversation is focused around EndSARS and all that transpired during those protests and how the protests ended. I'm curious about the conversations that were happening during that period. What were the conversations you were having with him? You know, what was the mood like in the villa at the time as you, as his assistants and advisors surrounded him? Can you just let us into his state of mind and his headspace during that period of the protests?
Well, it's difficult for me to provide a further insight than you probably have had yourself. But EndSARS would have been welcomed, knowing Buhari. If it was a grievance issue, and I don't deny that there were grievances. And you could see that the government responded from the beginning with offers, not only of a dialogue, but concessions, including, for instance, the dismantling of the SARS, which had generated all of the anger and the atrocities that were being. I think the problem then came when it became a law and order issue. I mean, you are there in Lagos, you saw all of the vandalism that was carried out, the attack on law enforcement, and the arson and the murder. So at that point, no responsible government would have folded its arm to say, let it go on. I think that it was necessitated by the fact that EndSARS, which had noble origins, became hijacked by elements that were subversive.
Was he angry about it? Was he, disturbed by it?
No leader would say that they were not disturbed when law enforcement has become a big challenge. As I said, the police assets were being burnt, Lagos state government, federal government assets, and all of that. And of course, the lives of innocent citizens, as was to be later established, had also been lost. So President Buhari could not have been happy with that. He wasn't. And we hope that there is never a repeat of that incident again in this country.
So, a couple of things. I don't know if you were with him on the day Goodluck Jonathan called him to concede, and he knew he was going to be the best president. Can we go through the feeling, or did he talk to you about it afterwards? And secondly, I also want you to give us a clue of what transpired in the villa on the morning after, when those kids were killed at the toll gate.
When
the kids were killed at the toll gates, the young people were killed at the toll gates, when there was that shooting at the toll gates, the mayhem that ensued. So, but at first, tell us if he ever recounted you the feeling of when Goodluck Jonathan called him and said, Mr. President, I concede to you, you're going to be president and all of that. And also tell us, was there a feeling after, the morning after, when people were shot at the toll gate?
Well, let me say that these two obviously are related.
Yes. No, it's just the high and the low.
Was I with him
I'm trying to pitch a high and a low. Yeah.
Well, the telephone call was between two of them. I was not in their presence. I was not in his presence when it happened. But generally, we were around as a campaign team, and that period was soaked in tension, because, as you obviously would recall, there were moments when our pulses were elevated and they feared that things could go wrongly. For instance, the disruption of the presentation of the reports at the International Conference Center, and then the Orubebe incident and all of that. Clearly in the campaign there was a sense that something was about to happen. In fact, fears were that probably people were seeking to disrupt the process and lead to the overthrow of the democratic government in the country. Militaries would seize power and stop Buhari's inevitable victory. So therefore, when President Jonathan graciously put that call, it eased all tensions and things calmed down. And I think that single incident also, because at some point you could say that there was anger in the campaign on both sides. That thing calmed down everyone. And that I think it paved way for the decency leading to the handover and that characterized the succession between the two leaders. Please, on NSAS,
the second one, yes.
I want to be excused. I have no details. The second part, it was a sad period for the country, losses on both part of the law enforcement and from the report we read, civilian people were, so therefore I have no details other than what most Nigerians have read and seen from the investigation that was carried out by the government of Lagos State. I hope that, I pray that nasty incidents like that never happen again in the country.